We're heading back to Sainsbury's and their Tiny Rebels 505 New England IPA. This one's £3.50, a little bit more than the others in Sainsbury's, but what's it going to be taste like? Check out the review to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to be reviewing this beer. This is from Tiny Rebel. This is called 505 and it's a New England IPA coming in at 6.2% ABV, part of the new range in Sainsbury's. For some reason this one's a little bit more expensive. It's £3.50, all the others are £3. But let's see what it's like. Don't know much about it. I haven't heard this from Tiny Rebel. I haven't seen this in Tiny Rebel before, so I don't know if it's brewed specifically for Sainsbury's. It doesn't say what hops or anything on it. It just says it's got a hazy to the eye, tropical to the nose, and mango citrus to the taste. So let's crack this beer open and get it in a glass, see what it's all about. So the Sainsbury's beers, I mean, they sort of literally come out of nowhere really, without very little fanfare, very little promotion. And let's see what this is about. Certainly this is looking like a good quality New England IPA, very hazy, straw coloured. Absolutely what I'm looking for in a New England IPA. So you've got this sort of straw coloured, very yellowy custard, one finger of white head. Looks pretty good, pretty hazy. Let's see what it smells like. Yeah, I'm getting quite a lot of citrus in there, a lot of lemons and limes, grapefruit. Yeah, there's a bit of mango in there and a bit of pineapple. It smells really good actually. Let's tuck in. Cheers everyone. I think that's worth the extra 50p. That's one of the best Tiny Rebel beers I've had. Lovely and soft mouthfeel. Quite a lot of pineapple flavour in fact. Pineapple's quite dominant. Bit of mango in there as well. Then you get in the citrus, lemon and lime citrus fruits. And then that's wrapped up with a very sort of subtle grapefruit flavour. It's a really good, I'm really surprised actually. I mean, Tiny Rebel, you know, they try it. I mean, their marketing's great. It's like Brewdog. It's like their marketing is really good. Tiny Rebel's marketing is good. They come up with all these quirky sort of branded, weird type of beers, and it's very appealing if you're not a sort of, I don't like to use the word sophisticated craft beer drinker, but I'm going to use that. Let's go with that. So if you see it on the shelves and you think Tiny Rebel, yeah, and you've got your Club Tropical and your Cali Pal, they sort of jump out. I mean, when I started drinking craft beer, they certainly jumped out to me. But they're all very average. I think it's just because they're getting to a mass production level, and you know their quality control isn't quite as good because they're making much more of it. This is the best beer I've had from Tiny Rebel. I don't think I've had a beer as good as this. We've had recent New England IPAs from them. We had the Shimmy Shimmy that was part of their birthday beers. That was okay, but this is miles better. Yeah, I could drink that all day long. Lovely and soft, low levels of carbonation, sort of a medium body as well, a little bit thicker than a lot of certainly supermarket New England IPAs. Oh, it's balanced just really nicely with the pineapple and mango. Then you get a wave of citrus fruits, and then you sort of like the punchline is a very nice grapefruit flavour. That pink grapefruit, slightly sweeter than normal grapefruit. There's no real bitterness there. It's just a little bit of sharpness on the back end. Oh, it's a really good beer, and I don't know whether it's just that I'm surprised, but I'm going far as say this is probably the best beer you can buy in Sainsbury's. There, I've said it. I don't know what people think. I've not seen any other reviews of this beer at the time of filming. Maybe by the time it gets out, there'll be a few more out there. But I'm really interested if anyone else has had this, because I think this is a really good New England IPA. And it's all the better by the fact it's from Tiny Rebel that I always I'm a little bit sort of not interested in really. I just think, you know, that I've moved on from the likes of Tiny Rebel and Brewdog, and there's better beers by better companies that are more worthy of my money. But this is a back to form. This is a good beer. And, you know, New England IPAs are my favourite style of beer. So it's not as if I'm not used to them. I've had so many. We get so many. Nearly probably 1 in 4 beers that we drink on this channel is definitely a New England IPA. And so I've had lots of them, but this is really well balanced. It looks good. I mean, yes, it would be better if it had a little bit more retain of the head there. It's sort of quite flat, but then that creates that very sort of soft mouthfeel and sort of medium body, very low levels of carbonation. You can drink this down really quickly. It's a stunning beer, and I'm glad that Sainsbury's have got it in. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Tiny Rebels 505, New England IPA, 6.2% this one, coming in from Sainsbury's at just £3.50. This is probably the best Sainsbury's beers I've had for a long time, and it's probably the best Tiny Rebel beer that I've had, full stop. But let's get the scores. First things first, aroma. Well, the aroma on it, yeah, I mean, you're getting those very New England IPA type of aromas. Pineapple and mango, really. Then you got all this sort of citrus sort of aromas going on in terms of lemons, limes, grapefruits. You're not really picking out those individuals, but you're just getting that very sort of nice aroma that's very inviting. It's probably not the biggest aroma, you know, something like Tiny Rebel, 6.2%. It's not really pungent in terms of aroma, but it's certainly pleasant and makes you want to think, yeah, I want to give this a taste. So I'm giving it 13 for aroma. Appearance-wise, well, it's definitely a lovely yellow custardy sort of colour for a New England IPA. That's always marks well in my book. The problem is the head's a little bit, well, I mean, it looks pretty much flat there, really. There's lace in the glass is pretty much non-existent. I think this just because when we go into the flavour, the body is so soft and sort of, and the carbonation is very, very low. And I think that's why it does look a little bit sort of subdued, I'd say. But the colour's good, so I'm giving it 8 for appearance. Flavour-wise, well, as I said, it's one of the best Tiny Rebel beers I've had. It's a really good New England IPA, just exactly how I want. So, like the aromas, you get quite a lot of pineapple, actually, and mango in there. Mango's a little bit less than the pineapple. Then you get this sort of citrus, lemon and lime sort of flavour that's really nice. And then you get this very subtle but very pleasant sort of back end of grapefruit. And it's much more of a pink grapefruit. It's a slightly sweeter, less sort of, certainly there's not much bitterness in terms of that grapefruit flavour. And it's very, very soft on the palate. It's one of the softest beers I've had from Tiny Rebel. Carbonation very, very low. It makes it really easy to drink. I reckon you could neck these down really quickly, which could be a bit dangerous. 6.2% though, probably just at the right level. So I think it's a really good, nice, flavoursome, good example of a New England IPA. So I'm giving it 35 for flavour. Value for money. Well, a 440ml can from Sainsbury's. I was quite surprised that all the others were £3 and this one was £3.50. Even the Brewdog versus Mikkeller one was £3, and you would have thought that was going to be a bit more expensive. So I'm surprised at this, but actually it's worth £3.50 all day long. It's good value for money. I'm giving it an 8 for value for money. And then my overall experience, well, as I said, this beer it's the best beer I've had from Tiny Rebel, the best beer I've had from Sainsbury's since I had the Salt Alpaca. It's absolutely what I want from a New England IPA. I love New England IPA styles, but we've had a few New England IPAs that are a bit different, a bit more stone fruity, I think. And I prefer my New England IPAs more that sort of pineapple and citrus and grapefruit flavours. Maybe that's my own opinion, but in terms of those flavours, this hits it spot on. So I'm giving it for overall experience 16. We top those scores up and we get a fantastic, I can't think of a Tiny Rebel beer that's got an 80 out of 100. And it's available in Sainsbury's. And Sainsbury's supermarket is literally 400 metres from my house. So that means I'll be buying more of these and sticking them in the fridge because I think it's a very good beer. So, has anyone tried this yet? As I said, I've not seen this one reviewed at the time of recording this video. And I don't think it's a beer that's Tiny Rebel have had out before. If they have, I haven't seen it, I haven't heard about it before. So whether it's specially made for Sainsbury's, It's a really good beer, and I would recommend anyone who sees this, if they like New England IPAs, I think you'll really like this. I think this is one of the better New England IPAs in the supermarket, and certainly the best in Sainsbury's. So 505 Tiny Rebel. Who would have thought Tiny Rebel could get an 80 out of 100? Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you want to get all the new videos that we'll be doing for the Sainsbury's. And as the beers that are coming out, literally just come out, I'm literally reviewing them 1 or 2 a day at the moment, so they'll be coming out quite quickly. Hope you've enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up, really helps the channel. And until the next one, keep on rocking.